Hello and welcome to the W Mason Coach Report with head women's lacrosse coach Shannon Smith. Shannon, back for another episode. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing well, Stephen. How are you?
I'm doing great and almost as great as your team's doing right now. You've won 3 out of 4, all 3 wins versus ranked opponents. Your team is finally getting some attention in the national polls. Your team has stayed in the top 10 in the RPI. What are your thoughts right now on the Hofstra women's lacrosse team?
Just super excited. I think we are hitting our stride at the right time here at the end of our season. And, we have some players really stepping up for us. It's really exciting to see their hard work paying off in such a weird season and everything that the student athletes are dealing with and the challenges and the adversity of playing in COVID. I think they've done a tremendous job at handling that and just really excited for the week and the opportunity that we have to play in our conference tournament this weekend.
So your last game, you defeated Towson 15-14, another 1-goal win against the same opponent. How do you do it in back-to-back games in such a short amount of time?
It's tough because Towson is such a really great lacrosse team, and I thought that our team, we played really well in the first half, and we played well in the second half. Offense scored a lot of goals for us. And, I think that we won a lot of draw controls. Draw controls were really big in that game. And we made big time shots at the right moments for us on offense, which was really great to see. And I think at the end of the day, we really wanted that win. And it was really nice for our team to get it and put us in the position that we are in now in our conference tournament.
The Towson games are interesting because you kind of did them in totally different ways. The first game down at Towson was a little more of a defensive effort, and you guys had to come back repeatedly. And this game was more of an offensive effort where you guys were in front. How do you kind of balance the two and look back and say, does that show the growth of your team? Is that kind of what you look at it as?
Yeah, I think it definitely shows the growth of our team and just our overall mindset. I think that in our first game, like you said, our defense played unbelievable. And it's not that we didn't play unbelievable in the second game, but we did let up a couple more goals than we wanted to. And then our offense was able to carry our team. So it's nice to see that each other, both defensively and offensively, have each other's backs. Going into JMU this weekend for our conference tournament, we have to be able to play the full 60 minutes of great defense and great offense together. But it is nice to see over these past 2 weeks that we found a way to win, whether it was defense or offense stepping up or individual players stepping up. So there's been a lot of growth within our team, and we've won a lot of different ways this season against really tough opponents. So excited to take everything that we've learned this season and go into tournament play.
And Shannon, speaking of offense stepping up and individuals stepping up, Alyssa Perella is probably having one of the best 2-week stretches of her entire career right now. Unbelievable in both Towson games. What have you seen from her that's allowed her to excel for your team right now?
She's really locked in right now, and she's starting to find her groove on the offensive side of the field. I think it just took her a little bit longer this season to be able to figure that out. I think all season she's been playing really great for us defensively and in the midfield, but I think she's starting to get her groove back, her step back in the transition game. And it's really nice to have the duo of Alexa scoring and with Katie Whalen, putting up goals and assists for us as well and dominating the draws. So it's really nice to see that and having other offensive players step up and chip in on their opportunities that they get, whether it's 1 or 2 goals. So we needed to really continue that going in. And Alexa's really playing some great lacrosse at the right time for us right now.
And speaking of playing great lacrosse, your other star, Alyssa Perella, last week it was scoring the game winner. This week it was assisting on the game winner, in addition to everything else she did this week. What'd you see from Alyssa this week?
I think Alyssa really grew as a player in this game. They were face guarding her, doubling her. I think having that previous game and getting to understand the girl that was covering her, I think helped her in this second game that we had against Towson. I think she took advantage of her scoring opportunities. And then when she did have the opportunity to dodge and there was that double, she had her head up, and I think our team did a really great job moving off ball to find the open cutters. Carrie did a really great job at the end of the game there to sneak off on the backside. Alyssa having her head up with the double team in her face, being able to feed that ball. So growth in Alyssa's game, and obviously your best players have to play great for you at this time in the season.
Shannon, is it a crazy thought to say this person who's going to end up possibly top 10 all time in goals in the history of the sport is a little not respected nationally, like for what she continues to do?
Yeah, I agree with that. To be honest, I was extremely disappointed to not see Alyssa's name in the top 25 of the tour, and I think that was a mistake by the committee. Alyssa is obviously one of the best players in the game, and historically in the whole entire game. By the time she graduates, I think right now she's 12th in the country in all-time goals. If you look at that you look at that list, everyone's in 80, 90 games, and she's in, I think 70, 71, 72. I don't know really off the top of my head, but I know she's around that. And just the level that she was able to play at and the goals that she was able to score in playing in the less amount of games is really impressive. And I know she's coming up on Amy Appelt and Kayla Trainer right now. So I think it's just amazing for Alyssa and the career that she's had, and she deserves all the recognition. She's the best player in our conference, and she's one of the best players in the country, and she deserves that recognition. So it's a shame to see the touring committee not give her the nod for the top 25, because she's going to lead the CEA as one of the best. She's going to lead the CEA as the best player that's ever come through this conference, leading in goals, leading in total points, face guards, double teams, triple teams, sometimes sliding four people. Teams are always figuring out a way to stop Alyssa Perella. So I think she deserves that respect. She deserves that national respect. But at the end of the day, the numbers will speak, and where she ends up at the end of her career and the records will show how great of a career that Alyssa Perella had in college Division I women's lacrosse. And it's not an easy task to do. And all the props to Alyssa for all the hard work that she's put in. But I know Alyssa personally, and I know she wants nothing short of winning a championship this weekend. So the kid could score 0 goals, but as long as the team wins, she's going to be extremely happy.
I could feel your passion through that whole entire answer, Shannon. Back to the question, back to the team. You lose a tough game to Drexel back in early April, and then something turned. You went into that, and they kind of led into who was absent to be your next opponent as well. What changed that week that allowed your team to suddenly become who they are today?
I think after that first Drexel loss that we had some tough conversations after that game. And then going into that week, we had some more conversations, and then we just came together as a team, came together as a senior class, came together as captains. And we reevaluated, we changed some things up. And we just kind of got back to the basics, having fun. And it was just like an overall mindset change that needed to come. And at that point, we really felt as coaches, and, we expressed it to our seniors in the team that we could have went down. There was 2 paths that we could have go down, and the path of winning and figuring out the rest of the season and getting to the conference tournament, because we are a really great lacrosse team. And I think with the challenges of COVID and a shutdown in March, and some kids being healthy to play and not, I think our team just had to overcome a lot of adversity. And now here at the end of the season, we are where we need to be, and we are a really good team. I just think that our ingredients weren't mixing that well. And we literally told the kids, throw the expired ingredients out and let's come fresh this week against in the middle of April. And we did. And I think it's been a huge adjustment for us, and just a mindset change, and all the credit to the seniors, the kids, and all of us just coming together and figure it out, because it was definitely tough. But I think it was also the realization that we were playing a really tough schedule at that point. We were coming off a COVID pause and going into Boston College, Stony Brook, and then going into Drexel. So I think it was just a lot, and we just had to regroup ourselves, in which we did. So we're really excited to be at the point we are now, and just excited to have another opportunity to play together as a team.
And last question, Shannon, your next game is the CA semifinals against the aforementioned James Madison. What are the keys to victory on Friday in the hopes of advancing to Sunday's championship game?
Yeah, JMU is a really great team. They're playing some really great lacrosse right now from the last time that we've seen them. So I think when you get this point in the season, draw controls are going to be huge. The more possessions that we can have, and the less possessions they can have, ground balls and scrums, whether it's shots off a pipe, we have to come up with those 50-50 possessions. And we're going to have to shoot the ball, over 50% on the offensive side of the field. And we got to take care of our opportunities when we have them.
Well, Shannon, we wish you good luck on Friday, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you, Stephen.
And thank you for joining us on the W. Mason Coach Report with head women's lacrosse coach Shannon Smith.